Okay, let's see how to program for a generic picker. In this generic picker I have already designed, I have the text that stands for the character. So I want to, when animator load this generic picker, this text should be the character name of rig we want to apply this picker to. So we need to edit this text items, and also maybe for human character we have two rigging naming conventions. So we need to switch to different system of naming convention of that rig. So we want to automatically do that once after the animator load the picker for that rig. Okay, so we have somehow to judge that if this rig is using the rigging system 1 or rigging system 2. Also, we may need to replace this background image to the image of mom. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to just name this text, because we don't want to actually hard code these IDs to change them. So maybe we can just name these text items all to the character name text. So all these text can be named with the same name like this. And also for this attribute button, I have already named it as rigging system switcher. So let's stand for the we want to switch this attribute button to switch the actual rigging picker panels. So let's try it out. We switch to panel 2 and it will be blue slab buttons, and if I switch to the rigging 1, it will be yellow slab buttons. So probably they are just two picker panels that stay in the exactly same position, but I want to switch this attribute button to switch their visibilities. Okay, so now we need to actually program so that animator load this generic picker, and they already have this attribute button set to the correct rigging system. Also, this text has already set to the character name. Here we got mom. Okay. So I will just skip the background image, but if you have already prepared the background image to be switched between, you can just pretty much use the same way what we will do to these text items. Okay, so let's do that. We just edit picker load command here. First, you need to actually build up the local procedure of mail, and if you are using the Python, you just use some functions. Okay, so let's say prepare for generic human. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is actually grab the information of the selected node. Okay. So we just first get selection. So email, it's just cell equals to list SL. This will grab no matter how many selected nodes into this cell string array. So we just need the first one. So a node equal to cell, the first one of that. And the next thing you need to do is to actually get a character name. Okay, so basically we can get this from the namespace. Okay, so the namespace is the actually string that which MOOM without any columns, the last columns of it. So we can just get namespace and get the character names. Okay, so you can use your way to get a namespace, but for me, I will just use the most simple way. I just split a string into different parts and get the part I need. Okay, so we just string temp equals to string array, and I will split the node with this sign, since if there's a duplicate names, they will turns out we contain these vertical bars in the string, so we have to separate that. So we just keep separating. Let's see, string temp 1 equals to we just pick out the first element, and the next thing we need to do is to split this string again using the colon sign. So right, so we just copy this, assign it to the we split it with this colon sign, and we end up with the string here. Okay, we end up with the different part of these strings, but chances are they are layered reference, so they end up with layered namespace, so there will a lot of columns may appear here. So to deal with that, I don't use any other way like query its reference node and query the namespace for that reference node, because that will only query one single namespace. If there's layered namespace, that will be error. So so I just use this string speed approach to get my namespace. So for now, I just int last size equal to let's say if size temp larger than 291, that means we have namespace. So if that, we just need to do further. So that will be int, I just grab this, equal to the size of last element in this temp string array. I will say that size temp and -1. Okay. We have already got the last size and +1 to get rid of the last colon sign, and we just let's say string ns equal to empty string, and we just reassign this to the substring call substring no string. Okay, we got the temp1 here, and from first element to the size of temp1 minus this. So we end up the namespace, which is the character name. Let's test this out. Print ns. Okay, we just grab any part of this character and we execute this selection. Execute, it give me mom, which is correct. So the next thing I want to do is to edit these texts so that they show this character name. Okay, so next thing we need to do is now we edit the character text items. So the name of that text item is character name text. So string name equals to this. And in order to edit this text item, we have to got their IDs. So we can get IDs from this name. So we just string IDs. It's a string array. So mgpicker query. So we just use this programming guide and set local and close it first. And we go to the mgpicker command and search for the ID and get ID for name. Okay. So we added the load command again and paste in that flag, and which name is the name here, and we got some let's print it out. See, it has already got 3 text items for you. These 3 items are all for this character text. So we just iterate through them. Text item in IDs. Okay. mgpicker item edit, which here I want to add its label, so we just use the L short flag, and for the value we should be using the namespace and the text item with assigned ID here. So with this being done, we can just edit the text for all these text items with this to show this character name. Okay. So next thing we need to do is somehow we should judge this rigging system value based on the selection. So it depends on the real situation in your own production. Based on the rigging things, you can maybe grab the info from this node name, or maybe grab the reference node behind this node, and with the reference node already there, you can grab the maybe the asset path, and maybe you can get the information from the asset path to judge if it's rigging system 1 or rigging system 2. So we can just mimicking that we already know somehow how to get this value, proper value based on this selection. So we just edit the attribute button value to show correct body panel. Okay, so the name is for the attribute button is just copy this. It's rigging system switcher. So also we can just use a variable we have already declared to get the attribute ID. So in case there will be multiple attribute button, maybe one for switch in the body panel, one for switch in the facial panel, we can just iterate through all these attribute buttons. Okay, so for attribute button, all we need is to edit its value. So we save this picker and go to this attribute. We are editing the mgpicker item, so we can go to the mgpicker item command and search for the attribute value. So here's what we need: attribute value flag, and we just edit the node command again and replace this flag with this. And somehow we've already figured out what is the correct rigging system for this rig. So rigging system, say we equal to 1. So the first one here is the 0 and the second one is 1. So we want to, if I grab this node and load this picker, it will switch to the second rigging system. Okay, so we just use the 1 to demonstrate that, and the value for that is the rigging system value, and attribute replace this ID. Okay, so we can do further in this loading command. Maybe add some select button manually using this code, and maybe hide some select buttons instead to adapt the picker better to this rig. But for now, we just keep things really simple. For load command, usually you input some support codes for your picker. Say you have a mirror pose feature already written in codes, you can just put these codes in this load command, and no matter when the picker file or node be loaded in mgpicker studio, and right after the node being done, the code will be executed. Okay, so that it already source the necessary code, you can just use these features in this picker. Here we just use the load command to actually make the generic picker to adapt to the actual rig. Okay, so we just set load command and close and save it. Let's test it out. And first you need to do is to actually go to preference to set up this let's throw this away. To set up this generic picker file setting, we can just add and go to this generic human mgpl and say pick, and the picker name will be added to this list. We can do this in programming way. We can just go to continue our code, and this code are used to distribute your picker better, so animator can grab your picker file more easily. But for now, we can just use the command way to actually add this say the generic human, this picker into the generic list, so that emitter can load it more quickly. So we just mg picker, add it, add, let's say what, generic. Okay, so we just add the generic picker here, and the name for that is generic human. And for the second argument, you have to specify the index that stands for the position of the generic picker in this generic picker list. Okay, so if I specify a 0 index, it will appear at the top, and this affects only how they be listed on this menu. Okay, so we just add a 0 here, and we go to this update this menu, and it will be the here. So emitter can just execute this code, and they are ready to use this generic human picker. Okay, so in this preference, go to the picker project setting, you already list out here. So with this being done, we can just grab any part of this rig and go to the generic human. And the namespace already being mom, picker tab already being mom, but we haven't changed any generic text here, and neither of these attribute buttons. So what's going on here? So we can just go to edit the load command again, because we already enclose these codes into a procedure. We haven't invoked that procedure, so we can just invoke it and set load command and save it. Okay, so we can just replace it to generic namespace set. Yeah. Okay, so we just switch back and try it again. See, the text here already been changed to mom, and the rigging system already changed to part 2, and we're using the blue select buttons. Okay, so another thing that you can utilize this command thing is that in preference, go to the picker project setting. If no match picker found in this searching path, you can use a fallback picker. So that means we can just pick a picker file as its fallback picker. So no matter when I grab this and use this search and load feature, it can't find any matched picker that match this character. It will load up the fallback pickers. So you can do that in a programming way. So mg picker add this should be some string relative to fallback. So go to the fallback, copy it, and just assign it as a generic human as well. And you don't need the second argument, we just execute this. So let's go to the preference. See, already set here. So no matter when you grab any part of this rig and go to this button, if this picker doesn't exist, and it will load this generic picker for you. Okay, so this is addition to our programming guide. We just use the programming way to help out the use and the build of the generic pickers.